What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hills Are Silent podcast, where we chop, and deli slice it up, sling, about the games of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I'm Two-Tone the Artist.
And I am Mitch the Peach.
And we've got a good episode for you. Of course, the day of recording is Black Friday. I mean, I guess the theme here is consumerism, so with that being said, Mitch and I got some game pickups. I didn't get anything today, though, for Black Friday. This is all previous stuff. What about you, Mitch? Anything you getting for Black Friday or no?
I did pick up that Resident Evil 4 remake. I sent you that one when I had a few drinks on Blackout Wednesday, and I was seeing that deal and just went ahead and pulled the trigger. And I've really been wanting to play the RE4 remake, so I'm excited to get that one. Only $30. Probably could have waited and got it for 20 later, but you know, I'm gonna put it in the disk drive pretty quickly after I get it.
Yeah, man. The Resident Evil games. Typically, I prefer to get games for like $5, $10, $15, maybe even $20. But Resident Evil is one of the few franchises that I'll either get at lesser of a discount or sometimes I'll get a full price. Because, man, just love that series. I know I'm going to play through it immediately. And I, too, picked up Resident Evil 4, although I paid a little more than you. I got it for $40, I think just a couple days ago, off of Amazon. But I had participated in a coding tournament at my job, and I got third place, and the prize was a $50 gift card. So I ended up just using that. So
nice. That's pretty cool. You have coding tournaments at work. That sounds fun.
Yeah, fun. I would not. I wouldn't necessarily call it fun. I don't know. My job is software development. I can be very honest and say I don't necessarily love software development, but it's a good job, and sometimes there is some satisfaction in it. But,
sure.
But yeah, high stress, timed coding challenges are not my thing.
Okay, never mind. When you put it that way, it doesn't sound as fun.
Yeah. I don't know if any of our audience knows this, but when you interview for a job, a software development job, there's almost always a coding challenge or coding test you have to do. You not only do you have to do a great job being likable with your personality and doing a great job in the actual interview, but they also will test your skills. And that can be very stressful because you have no idea what they're going to test you on. There's so many different common interview challenges that they do. So the best you can do is just try to prep and practice the ones that are most common, but you never know what you're going to get. And sometimes it can just be ridiculous stuff. And 9 times out of 10, it's stuff that's not even practical or used in the real world anyway. It's what? I'm how is this? This is not relevant to the job at all. So why is this the coding challenge?
That sounds like my entire college education.
Yeah, exactly. Same situation, man. Very little of what I learned in college about software development actually applies to the real world, which is very sad to say.
Why couldn't they offer us a budgeting class or how to do your taxes or just stuff that's actually good life skills to have?
Yeah, I did take a personal finance class in college, but it was an elective. It was not required at all. But okay. After taking that class, I learned so much from that. And after that, I taken that class, I was why is this not mandatory on the curriculum? There's so many things that could be replaced with this because this is way more practical and actually applicable to real life.
Yeah, I went to a liberal arts school and I had a mandatory religion class, but I had no mandatory personal finance class. So I'm how does this make sense? Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, we kind of went off on a side tangent there, but that's what's going on. That's how I ended up getting Resident Evil 4. But for me, there's really no Black Friday deal that really stood out to me this year.
Yeah, same here.
So, and a lot of it's the same old stuff. I don't need a new TV. I don't need a new computer. I don't need a new whatever million gadgets they're trying to sell that
As the podcast knows, I did both of those earlier this year
Yeah,
with a new
exactly.
TV and a new laptop, and I have not found deals that are close to what I paid for both of those things. So
Yeah. Yeah,
you
that's a
could
good.
find deals whatever the time of year is. It doesn't have to be the Black Friday time.
That's a good point. All right, man. So anyway, having said that, yeah, all these pickups are from previous purchases, other than Mitch's Resident Evil 4 purchase. None of these were Black Friday purchases. But without further ado, Mitch, I'm gonna let you jump it off. Let me see what you got, man. I'm excited to see what you've picked up.
Yeah, I'm gonna preface this ahead of time to say I did not pay for all of these because I have quite a few. It looks like I'm very irresponsible, but I did not pay for all of these, and there's a good story for why that is. But I'm gonna go into what I did pay for first in my eBay purchases that I was doing. As we 2 episodes ago now, we talked about spiritual successors and wanting to see some of the Street franchise come back. So I went ahead and bought not the first one, not the second one, but all three
The whole trilogy.
NBA Street franchises. And Mike, as you pointed out, that I will never remove on the first one, we've got a nice Game Crazy MVP price sticker on here that is a nice throwback to the days of Game Crazy.
Yeah, so typically I like my games looking clean, so I will take the stickers off if it's like a GameStop sticker or something else. But there's a few exceptions to that. Blockbuster stickers I never remove because that's just historical right there. And Game Crazy stickers and Hollywood Video stickers as well if they have them on there. But yeah, man, Game Crazy. That just seeing that sticker. Man, hold that up again because it's got the two prices. Yeah. I forgot that they had that MVP program, which was essentially kind of like the equivalent to GameStop's. What do they have? Like
Pro Power Up, Reward,
yeah.
Pro membership, whatever.
Except the Game Crazy one was better. Oh my gosh, this cat, in or out, man? Figure it out.
Oh, my cat's going nuts too.
But yeah, let me see all three of those again. So.
Yeah, so here's Street 1 with the no manual, but I love GameCube discs. They're the coolest discs of all time. This is the cleanest one I have, which is good because it's my favorite of the three. It's NBA Street Volume 2. This one is super clean looking case. Has the manual, has the disc, which is, fantastic. And then NBA Street Volume 3. Pretty good looking case, got partial manual and
what's in the upper left corner at NBA Street 3?
Oh, so the GameCube version, I'm glad you mentioned this. You can play as all the Mario characters in Street Volume 3.
What?
So they have Mario, Luigi, and Peach as playable characters.
That's wild. In that case, yeah, the GameCube version is the best one to get then because you get all those bonus characters.
Yeah, which is cool because you can actually see it kind of in the bottom left here. There's Mario trying to bust a move on the court.
Dang, he's so tiny too against all these tall basketball players. That's hilarious.
Yep. So I thought that was pretty neat that Nintendo actually did that and let that happen, partnering with EA on that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, man, GameCube games. I do love the discs. But man, sometimes I'll go to used game stores and they'll just be so scratched up.
Yeah, because I feel like Nintendo as a whole always marketed more toward children. So a lot of like people that had GameCubes got them for their kids, unlike the Xbox or PlayStation. And you know how kids get when you get discs with little children. They're putting their grimy hands on it, scratching it up, not putting it back in the case, all of the above.
Yeah, so you already have everything working against it. GameCube did not sell a lot of copies, so there's already less copies out in the world. And then, like you said, it was largely kids playing it who are not going to take care of their stuff. So that probably destroyed like countless copies of GameCube games. And that's partly the reason probably why they're so expensive now, because it's just like supply and demand. Because
It's funny you mentioned. Or go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I was saying it's funny you mentioned the kids and whatnot, or just the disc being scratched. Because my next lot, I have a story with that as well. But I'll tease that and until I get through these ones first.
And I don't know what it is about the GameCube discs, but whatever material they use to put the covers on the disc, over the years, a lot of those GameCube games are starting to like bubble up. And then the top of the disc will bubble up and then scrape off. And that will literally ruin the disc. I have a couple GameCube games like that, and fortunately they still play, but I got to be real careful because if I touch the top of that disc and brush off any of the cover on it, it's just going to ruin it. So, man, those things are fragile, and another thing contributing to fewer and fewer copies existing.
And I don't currently own any of the other, of that generation consoles. So when I am trying to collect it right now, I want to actually play the stuff I'm collecting. So I really do lean toward the GameCube. And it's never a bad thing to collect Nintendo because I feel like we've always talked about, Nintendo stuff always just hikes up in price. The more time that passes by, just because it's Nintendo. There's really no other reasoning for it. But I'm going to keep going with my GameCube lot. This is one that I have talked to you about, but I'm eventually going to collect all of them. I did get Mario Party 4, which is my favorite of the GameCube Mario parties. We are going to, Mike is coming down coming up for the holidays here, and I've been trying to get a collection of GameCube games that him and I can play, and then if some other neighborhood guys want to come over and play as well. And Mario Party 4 is always a classic to play with a bunch of friends. But yeah, Mario, this one is. These are expensive, as we've talked about off pod, Mike. These are pretty pricey, all of them. And I've seen, I was trying to cut corners and maybe just buy the whole GameCube lot in one swing, but on eBay, people were trying to get $600, $700 for just the full collection of GameCube ones, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna go ahead and just piecemeal these and take my time to try and get them. I got this one for, I think I said $50. I want to say somewhere in there, which honestly I've been, my recipe for success has been lowballing offers on the make a offer section of eBay, which has really done me well. I don't see this for much less than $75 to $100. So I think I came out on top there.
Yeah, chances are if a seller is putting that make an offer option, they're willing to take a lower offer. That's the whole reason they're putting it there.
Exactly.
So with the Mario Party games, how you were telling me how many were released on GameCube? Because they released a lot of those Mario Party games on the GameCube.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, all on GameCube.
Dang. Man, they were cranking them out. And yeah, they're pretty pricey, but again, those are some of the best games on the GameCube, so everybody wants the Mario parties.
Exactly. And I don't have a 64 at the moment, and you can actually play Mario Party 1 and 2 on your Switch now. They actually have the backwards compatibility with Nintendo 64, so I can play those on there for now until maybe later on I get a 64 and really want to start collecting in that. But I'm gonna hold off on that. I got enough stuff I want to collect right now.
Yeah, but man, for the audience, when Mitch and I were kids, the GameCube in his basement, that was just golden times, because the whole neighborhood of kids would be over. I'd come over, and we would just be playing whatever multiplayer games we could on the GameCube. Even prior to that, the N64 to some degree, but yeah, GameCube for sure. So I'm coming up for the holidays, and Mitch and I always play some cooperative games anytime I'm in town. It's just like old times. We're back in his dad's basement playing cooperative games on the TV. So this year, it's definitely going to be a GameCube themed year. Now that Mitch has got a handful of new GameCube games, he's going to be bringing his GameCube. And yeah, we'll see if we can round up any of the old guys and see if they're willing to come back and just have a nostalgic jam session, just like good old times.
Absolutely. And with the GameCube, we all know that it does not have HDMI an HDMI port on it. So in order for us to play during the holidays, I also picked up this Retrobit. It is an adapter that allows the GameCube, basically gives the GameCube an HDMI port so we can use it with more modern TVs, and it boosts the graphics up a little bit so it fits modern TVs. Because as we know, the GameCube was, originally meant for those CRT TVs, and the size of those compared to the flat screens, the long flat screens that we have now. I did test this; it works.
Nice.
I tested multiple games on it. It looked great, played great. I'm very satisfied with this. I think I got this for $50 as well. Mike was great to show me this brand. I was looking at some other brands because Mike has one as well, and I wanted to check out this Prism. I think it's Prism HD adapter, and very very happy with this one. It's used, but it came with a remote with it to mess with, and the adapter worked great. So very pleased with this. So I will be bringing this with me as well, so we could hook it up to the TV in the basement.
Yeah, and just a disclaimer: in order to use those HDMI adapters, you have to have a specific GameCube model. It has to be the model that has the digital out on the back of it. I think some models are missing that. So unfortunately, if that's the model of GameCube you have, you won't be able to use one of those adapters to get output in HDMI on your GameCube.
Yeah, and it's funny because during my college years, you and I didn't talk as much. We talked here and there, but not as much. But I do vividly remember when I was buying my GameCube, you telling me that, or asking me which model I had, and I happened to buy the right model at the time accidentally. So the one I've had since college is actually the right model. So it worked out great.
Perfect. All right, man. What you got next?
All right, I'm just gonna be quick with these ones. The one I tease that I've been really trying to add to the Wii U collection is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, and of course you need to make sure you recycle with the with the Wii U games. But the Wii U one is very hard to get. It is priced usually $100 or above.
Whew.
For some reason, they did not. I guess they just didn't print a lot of copies of this Wii U one, because my buddy Swan, when we were at Mega Replay, he picked up a Wii one, and the Wii version was $8. So I picked this up for $75, which is way more than I usually pay for games. But this one's never going to go down in price, and it was another one where I offered him like $25 below what he was asking, and he took it. So I tested this one. It works great. It looks great. I mean, they do say it's the HD version, and I pumped it in my Wii U, and then it looks fantastic. So I'm excited to play it.
Nice. Now, had you played that back in the day? Because I think that was released on Wii, like you mentioned, and also on GameCube. Had you played it back in the day when it originally came out on either of those two consoles?
Yes, I put it on Wii, not the GameCube though. But the GameCube one is also very expensive today if you want to buy it. So I probably won't buy it on the GameCube, because I think I got the best version available currently on the Wii U.
Got it. Did you finish it on the Wii?
I did not finish it on the Wii. The funny thing is, with Twilight Princess on the Wii, it was actually the game that you use to jailbreak your Wii. There's like a sort of like software jailbreaking that you use at a certain point in the Twilight Princess game, but by doing so, it ruined my save file. So I kind of I just didn't go back into it after I ruined the save file.
Dang.
But yeah, that's the one I've been teasing for a few weeks, and I'm so excited that I added that to the collection. I still have a lot to go, so I'm gonna go quick. But this one is one I'm also super excited about. I got it right away.
Oh, nice.
And it is Super Mario RPG, the remaster. And I've never played this, but as we've talked about many times, I'm a huge Japanese RPG fan, and this game operates very much like a Japanese RPG with Mario characters. So once I saw that this was being released, I wanted to pick it up right away. And not sure if you heard of this, but I got it from a site called Geek Alliance. And Geek Alliance, I was looking at the slick deals, which I do, and I got this for like $45, which was like for a new release, like way cheaper than you usually get new releases on Switch for. But they kind of operate like an Amazon. If you do a pre-order, you get like a 20% off. You know, Amazon used to do with new games. If you pre-ordered it, you get 20% off right away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But now, yeah, I used to use that all the time for games I was like really knew I was going to get right away, and they don't do it anymore. But yeah, I was like, this Geek Alliance spot sent this to me. I got it the day of release, so it's like great on them. I was like, this is cool. I'm gonna start using this site a little more. So yeah, that's Super Mario RPG. Going into my next stack, these are the ones that I actually got for free. As you know, Mike, Beverly is a estate sale. She's retired, but she does estate sales still in her free time. And she, I guess, was holding out on me, and she told me that she had a bunch of video games in the garage, just in a tub. And she's like, "Oh, I've had them for like 3 or 4 years."
What?
Yeah. And I was like, Beverly, like, you know me, like, I want to see, let me check these out. And she's like, sure, they're way back, behind my dad's band stuff. She went back and got them for me, and it was just a tub of games. And I took quite a few of them because they were ones that, I would absolutely like to have.
Dude, that is awesome.
So it goes back to she did tell me they were owned. It was a family that had children, and the children were the ones that played these games. So I have not tested them yet. I'm a bit nervous on some of them.
Okay.
But let's just go through them while we can. We will start with the ones that you actually have as well. It is the Kinect Sports. So it's Kinect Sports 1, Kinect Sports 2, Kinect Sports Adventures.
Okay.
And then a Just Dance game. It's the Just Dance Greatest Hits. So I think it's a combination of like 1 and 2.
Interesting. I didn't know they had the Greatest Hits one. Those are all great party games.
Yeah, great party games. I still have a Kinect. I just don't have a 360. I will have to get a 360 because none of these are the Kinect itself is not backwards compatible with the Series X. Mm-hmm. So that's those. But these are the heavy hitters that I was very surprised were in here. A lot of GameCube games.
Whoa, Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah, OG Luigi's Mansion. Which, I mean, I was like, I don't have this currently, so I was like, man, I'm excited to add this one.
Dude, that is a score right there.
This one's kind of a score, too, though. It is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. So she did not have the actual bongos, so I've been looking on eBay for the bongos, and they're actually not as expensive as I thought they were. So
okay, good.
I'm gonna have to grab the bongos. After I test it to make sure the disc works first.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games, Super Monkey Ball.
Dang, dude, this was a score, man.
Yeah, Beverly was holding out on me. Apparently, it was in the garage for 3 years and never told me.
Oh, man, if I would have opened that, looked through that, and saw those GameCube games. Yeah, anytime you open stuff up like that, like a box just in the attic or in the garage, and you see GameCube games, man, that is...
Yeah.
That's a
and
treasure
then the last
chest.
one's a funny one, but it's actually one I wanted to add because I had it as a kid and I really enjoyed it. It is Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup.
Okay. Was that, you said that was in the box too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, in the box too, and I just figured, hey, it's actually, you can play like one-on-one, like Quidditch against each other, and I remember having it as a kid. It was pretty fun, so
yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll take it with me. Why not? But yeah, I mean, all of those I got for free from, thank you, Beverly. I wish you would have told me a little sooner, but hey, better late than never.
Yeah. So you said there was more in there. What did you pass on? I'm curious.
I passed on there was some Nickelodeon like really like kid games, like not Peppa Pig, but it was very much some Nickelodeon games, maybe like a Shrek game or something, or like very ones that were aimed for children that I don't think I would ever I would ever play
on those too.
Or that are ever going to be worth anything.
Yeah, man, those some good ones though.
Yeah, there's a couple others I picked up, but I didn't really feel like I have so many. I didn't want to show them all, but I picked up Portal 2 on 360.
Okay.
Which is a great game.
Yeah.
And then I also got Skyrim on 360, which I mean, they make so many Skyrims, but I just figured I don't have it in physical, so I'll just take it.
Yeah. Anywhere you go, they're gonna have like 1,000 copies of Skyrim.
Yeah.
There's just boxes and boxes of those everywhere.
All right, I've got two more tiny stacks here. I'm gonna go through them quick because I know we've been taking up a lot of time on this, but these are the ones you do know about. Shout out to my good buddy Swanee. His gamer tag is Charlie Schween. So lately he's been going out and he's been doing some American Pickers style stuff and just like scheduling a bunch of like Facebook Marketplace pickups and like just adding a bunch to his collection that he's either going to flip on eBay or he's going to keep for his own collection. So he showed me some of the stuff he got, and I was like, hey, like, I want this, and this. Like, how much are you going to give me? And he gave me a great deal on it because we were best friends. He tried to give me a better deal when I got to his house, but I refused because he was already giving me a great deal, and we already agreed upon an amount. So, Swanee, I really appreciate that, man. You are a real one because you did the legwork on this. But yeah, I call him Charlie Pickers these days because he's out and about running around in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, just picking up random stuff on a Saturday, which I love that. So this one is one that we are going to be playing during our holiday, and it is OG Hunter: The Reckoning. I have it already, but it did not have the case. I had like just a crappy case, so I mean he threw this one in on me for very cheap. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it again with case. Couple other cool ones, both the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, and Return of the King. Return of the King is actually multiplayer. We can play that with 2 players. I think, the Two Towers is only 1 player, but you can do co-op with the Return of the King.
Yeah.
Some options there. One of your favorite games, Mike, that we talked about a couple podcasts ago, Def Jam Vendetta.
Man, yes, awesome.
One I really wanted to add after, the nostalgia of us talking about it. So it was nice that he got it out of a lot from one of his pickups. Featuring DMX, Ludacris, Method Man, NORE, Redman, Scarface, WC, and more. The classics. And then a game I'm going to talk about later, a series I'm going to talk about later, but I picked up a Tales of Symphoria, which is, or Symphonia, which is one of the Tales of series, not one I've ever played before, but I saw that. Actually, it's a 2-disc GameCube game, which is kind of cool, the blue and the red.
Yeah, it is cool.
So that is my pickups from my good buddy Swanee. Thank you again. I appreciate you. That was the easy exchange ever. I just went over to his house and didn't have to do the legwork that he did. So thank you, Swanee. And then the final ones that Mike does not know about. I was at Mega Replay this weekend. So again, my buddy Swanee and I went to Mega Replays. We wanted to go just check it out together, see what they had. And they had a really good selection. I was just there like a month ago when I was at home, and they did not have as good a selection as they had this time around. So I picked up a couple things. First off, I've got both DJ Hero and DJ Hero 2.
Nice.
Which is funny, with Mega Replay, I didn't realize they do that these days, but Swanee pointed out to me, if they don't have the actual case, they kind of print their own, so this one isn't, like, legitimate, but, like, they kind of, like, they did their best to print something and put it in like it was actual original case.
Yeah, I actually appreciate when game stores do that, because I do that myself, too. Like, sometimes if I just get a loose game, I'll print out my own cover for it. So it's nice when it's already done.
Yeah, I appreciate that. These are, like, $6 a piece, and, I actually, I just tested it out, but I still have my DJ Hero turntable, and I just put some new batteries in and turned it on just to make sure it works, and yeah, turns on, still working.
Excellent, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to get a 360 though, because a lot of these games I can't play them without a 360.
Yeah.
And the best for last, one I've been kind of hunting for, I've got Silent Hill Downpour.
Okay.
And this one was actually a little pricey. I think it was $45, but I was looking on eBay comps, and I have not found this one for less than like $60 at least. So it seemed like a no-brainer. It was already there. I was buying some other things. So this one is backwards compatible. So I actually already popped it into my my Series X just to make sure that it does work. backwards compatible, and it does. So it's one I can actually play, and one I have been wanting to play because I don't believe I finished it back when I was playing it in college. I know it's not the best of Silent Hill games, but
right,
it's still got we are the Hills Are Silent podcast, so it's only right that I buy.
I had that one back on PlayStation 3, and same here. I never finished it. Like you said, it's not the best one, but I would love to go back and finish that one someday.
So that is my pickups. There's a lot of games, but again, as I said, I did not pay for all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are good deals or got for free.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that is my lot. Mike, should we dive into yours?
Yeah, let's keep it rolling, man.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
It's gonna be a long episode of pickups. All right, so I guess I'll start with this one. I picked up Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation for Sega Dreamcast. I have a very small Dreamcast collection, despite the fact I freaking loved that console growing up. But in reality, and I like that it has a little advertisement for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver on the manual. That was a good game as well. But yeah, Dreamcast games are just so expensive. So it's kind of like, if you didn't get in on it early, it's kind of pointless now because stuff's just so overpriced. But this was a cheap game. I paid like $12 for it. And this completes my Tomb Raider collection. This was the last one I was missing. I got all the ones on PlayStation 1. There was 2 games. There was this one and another one that was released on both PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast. So I opted for the Dreamcast version since the graphics are going to be better. Yeah, and then I've got the ones released on PS2 and the ones on Xbox 360 and the latest trilogy as well. I'm sure there's some like offshoots, like some Game Boy Advance versions or something, but I'm not picking those up.
Every time you bring up Dreamcast, I think I've already talked about this on the pod, but I always just think of that one game that you had where you literally just put it in and you raise some sort of fish creature.
Yeah, Caution Seaman or something. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, I bought that as a kid. In my mind, I thought that was incredible. I'm like, it's these artificial intelligent pets that you raise. And it just seemed like such a cool concept to me. And it came with a microphone so you could talk to them. You're supposed to nurture them and tell them what to do and help them grow. And then when I got the game, I just realized how freaking terrible it was. Like, it's literally a pet simulator. Like, you have to log in every single day to feed them. And I'm just like, this is all the work of owning a pet with none of the actual like enjoyment or return. And the talking to them aspect was like real basic, and it just, I don't know, if there's people out there that love that game, good. I never got that far into it because I just didn't have the patience for it, but I regretted purchasing that when I could have gotten like a way more fun game I actually would have played back in the day. Because when you're a kid, you got limited funds, so when you buy a crappy game, you're just like, dang it, man, stuck with this crap.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I can find some good Dreamcast games, I'll get them. But yeah, this was mainly just to finish my Tomb Raider collection, because Tomb Raider is an iconic series that I feel like, even with how popular the latest trilogy has been, I feel like that series doesn't get enough love or attention. All right, so after that, got a couple Xbox 360 games, picked up the first Dirt on Xbox 360. Been kind of on a racing game kick lately. And the Xbox 360 is always super cheap to get games for. And I got this for like $7 on eBay. And I already had Dirt 3. There's a complete edition, which you know how much I love complete editions. On disc, like give me all the DLC, give me everything. So I had Dirt 3 complete edition. And wanted to check out the first one on Xbox 360. And again, it's just, anytime I see cheap 360 games, I typically just snatch them up. And next, picked up Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 for the Xbox 360. Per Mitch's recommendation, he had told me these games were really good. So I got a complete copy here with the manual. I'd already purchased the first game, but the second one is a little harder to come by. And I've been keeping an eye out, and I just couldn't find the right price on it. And then finally somebody was selling it on eBay for like $15. So I'm like, that's the cheapest I've seen it. It's a complete copy.
Totally worth it.
Gonna get it. So apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently the first Ultimate Alliance game has a complete edition that has all the DLC characters on disc. But it is very rare and goes for like $250. So I'm like, and again, at that point, I'm tapping out. I'm like, I'll just get the original one. I'm happy with that. I don't need all those DLC characters with how much they're charging.
I'm trying to think with Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like you can unlock a lot of those characters like through your playthrough too. I don't know about the DLC ones, but I know they're unlockables throughout your playthrough of the game.
Yeah, but yeah, there were like additional DLC characters they released after the game came out that you could get.
Yeah, it's probably like
character.
I think like Blade might have been one of them or something. Who knows?
Oh man, that would have been cool if they had Blade, but
Blade's on one of them. You may not have to. It may be on the second one that you don't even have to purchase.
Yeah. All right, so now, and we covered this on the previous episode. These games have been delisted from all digital platforms. So the only way you can play these is through physical copies. And that's another incentive for me to pick up physical copies because there's nowhere else you can play them. The license expired for Marvel games for Activision, and they had to delist them.
Yeah, they had, as we talked about in the pod, they had those digital remasters on the Xbox One for a short time to purchase when they got, I don't know, they got the license for a little bit. But I can still play them, but you can't buy them anymore.
Yeah, even that remaster was delisted like 1 or 2 years later.
Yep.
But yes, anyway, that was a recipe for me having to pick it up because you can't get it digitally, and Mitch told me they were great games. Great co-op games. Great couch co-op games.
Yeah, the trifecta right there.
Yes, man. When he told me all that is the whirlwind for, that's my type of game. All right, so then I got my PlayStation 4 copy of Resident Evil 4, which we already talked about. I've actually been playing the PC version, but I wanted a physical, so I grabbed the PS4 version, which is nice because it comes with the PS5 upgrade if I ever someday get a PS5.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what I got next. I think this whole next section is all from one big purchase from GameStop. So I guess technically this is a Black Friday deal. They posted their Black Friday sale about a week and a half ago or something. Mm-hmm. And they had a ton of new games, not pre-owned. They had a ton of their new games on clearance. So all these are like $5 to $10. So I snatched them up. First of all, this one's not a game, but I got a Play and Charge kit for Xbox Series X controllers. So basically, this actually works on Xbox Series S controllers and Xbox Series X controllers. It comes with like a custom battery cover that allows you to put these rechargeable batteries in, and then it comes with a USB charger, and it actually comes with 2 batteries. So I have 2 Xbox Series X controllers. So for $8, I got 2 rechargeable batteries.
Yeah, those are worth every penny too.
I'd actually been looking out for something like this because, man, my Xbox Series X controllers, they just eat through AA batteries. It's ridiculous. And I take the battery, as soon as I'm done playing, I take the batteries out because it seems like just leaving them in there is even draining the battery. Could be all in my head, but it seems to be the case. But I just can't believe how many AA batteries I'm going through. So I'm like, I gotta get rechargeable battery packs. But yeah, this was on clearance, so for $8, I'm like, heck yeah, man, that solves my problem.
While you're on peripherals, one thing that we did forget, what Mike wanted a mod pack for the holidays. So I went ahead. It says he already knows it's his Christmas gift or part of his Christmas gift from me. But he sent me the listing, and I went ahead and just snagged it right away. But yeah, Mike, do you want to go over? It has quite a few things on here that you can soup up your controller with.
Yes. Speaking of Xbox Series X controllers. So I love the back paddle buttons that they have on the Elite controllers. And for my PlayStation 4 controllers, I bought these adapters that give you back buttons. And it's just so great for first-person shooters. But when I play on PC with my Xbox Series X controller, I miss that. I'm like, I really just need some back buttons, but I don't want to splurge and get an Elite controller because they're just crazy expensive. And all I really want is those back buttons. So I started looking around to see if there's a similar solution like there is on the PlayStation 4 controllers where you can just add an attachment that gives you back buttons. So after doing some research, I found several options. A couple of them are just way too expensive. But then I landed on the one that I asked Mitch for Christmas, which I think, I don't know, what was the listing, like $35 or something?
Yeah, $35.
So yeah, it wasn't too bad. So yeah, it gives you 4 back buttons that are programmable. The only caveat with that one is that it turns a wireless controller into a wired controller. So in order to use that, you have to have your controller plugged in. It comes with like a USB-C cord. So, but it's not the end.
If you're using it on your PC, like you're right next to your PC anyway, so you have to plug it in. No big deal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always like 2 feet from my computer anyways. I don't care. Like I grew up on wired controllers.
Yeah.
Wireless is great, but it's whatever. So anyway, yeah, there's some other features on there. You can download mods. It comes with a few like built-in macros, I guess, to kind of help you cheat at games like Call of Duty, and you can download others that are like way more serious cheats for Call of Duty. But
yeah, it does say that you get the rapid fire drop shot, anti-recoil, auto run. You get all
yeah, it's got some stuff that like really gives you a cutting edge advantage. And by advantage, I mean straight up you're cheating. So I'm not going to use that feature. I just wanted the back buttons. But if you ever wondered how some people are just crushing it in Call of Duty, most of those players probably have those controllers because that company also offers a subscription service to get additional mods. And they have, I looked at their website, they got some crazy stuff. I mean, just like auto lock, like just stuff that would make you the person in the Call of Duty server that everybody hates. So yeah, that controller has those capabilities, but like I said, I won't be using that. But thank you, Mitch. The back pedals, I've said it before, ever since that came out or became a thing, in my personal opinion, that should be standard across all controllers. Just regular controllers nowadays should just have the back buttons. Like that is just a revolutionary step that I think should just be commonplace these days. I shouldn't be having to buy an attachment to get back buttons on my controller.
Right. Agreed.
All right, but anyway, back to my big pickup. Like I said, this is all brand new games that were on clearance on GameStop. And Mitch and I, we've talked about this before, like GameStop kind of has a crappy thing where you only get free shipping if you spend at least $79, which is a random number and also a very high threshold until you get free shipping. But it is what it is. I definitely went over that getting this stack, so I got free shipping, and yeah, all these games are great deals. So first up, they're all PlayStation 4 games. First up is Tormented Souls for the PlayStation 4, and this is a survival horror game that wears its inspiration on its sleeve. It is definitely inspired by the original Resident Evil and Silent Hill games, even down to the static camera angles and even down to the fact that you are in a mansion, just like the original Resident Evil game. Comes with a little map there of all the floors, which if you actually look at the layout of this mansion, it is very similar to Resident Evil 1's mansion. So this is totally game's totally inspired by Resident Evil 1.
I like how it says on the back, classic horror is back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, classic survival horror is back. I mean, they can't be more blatant that is a Resident Evil clone. But that was $10. I also got another horror game, Little Nightmares 2 for PlayStation 4 for $10. I have not played the Little Nightmares games yet.
I'm not either, but I always hear very great things.
Yeah, it looks cool. And then I've mentioned before on the podcast that I am heavily into collecting physical VR games because the mass majority of VR games are not physical, which means that preserving these games is going to be a challenge in the future. So my PlayStation 1 VR collection is steadily growing. I picked up Bravo Team, which is a 2-player cooperative military shooter.
Wow.
Very arcadey on the PlayStation 4. It did not get the greatest reviews, but I mean, everything's cool in VR, so like it's gonna be decent. And the fact it's co-op too, as long as there's still people online, they're willing to jump in and play. I think that would be fun just to play through it. I think it maybe takes like 3 hours to beat.
Speaking of PSVR, I didn't know if you saw they are making a sequel to what we've talked about in the past, Arizona Sunshine.
I did see that. I bet that's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, on that episode when I covered Arizona Sunshine, I talked about picking up the PlayStation VR aim controller, which is basically like a gun peripheral for the PlayStation 4 VR. Not very many games support that. And this Bravo Team I just picked up also supports that controller. So I do have a small collection. I got the controller and a small collection of physical games that actually support that aim controller, which is freaking awesome because I love light guns, and that's like the VR equivalent of that.
Yep.
So keeping on with that theme, another physical PlayStation VR game, Killing Floor Incursion. But
I didn't realize Killing Floor did a VR game.
Yeah, but actually the only way to get a physical copy of Killing Floor Incursion is to get this Killing Floor double pack that includes that VR game and Killing Floor 2.
Got it.
So I love Killing Floor 2, but I mean, it's really an online-only game, so there's really no point in having a physical copy. But really, I got this just so I could get the
VR stuff.
The VR stuff, yeah. And Killing Floor, man, great series.
Cool disc, bro. Cool cover, cool disc.
Yep. So then, and this one, did I get this on eBay? I think the Killing Floor one I got on eBay. The Bravo Team was $11. This Killing Floor I think was like $15 on eBay. And then for $5, I got Battlefront 2 for PlayStation 4. Which,
of course, the Elite Trooper Deluxe.
Yeah, edition. Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition, I guess, whatever that means. It comes with some downloadable code for like some extra armor, and that's the only difference. But I mean, $5 games, love it, man. Especially like a huge AAA game like Battlefront 2. I mean, that's a great deal. And they had a single player campaign in this, so even if they shut down the servers years from now, there's at least a small little 6-hour single player campaign you can jam on. All right, next I finally got Elden Ring. It was on sale on GameStop for $20 for the PlayStation 4 version, which also comes with a PS5 upgrade, which is nice.
I like that they do that.
Yeah, and man, this game is so popular, it just would not drop in price. So finally, it hit that $20 mark, and I was like, all right, man, that's like typically the most I'm willing to pay for a video game, so that's cheap enough for me.
Yep.
And then I got Doom Eternal for $10. I've been playing this on Game Pass, and I mean, in all honesty, I prefer Doom 2016 over Doom Eternal, even though everybody's hyped this game up to no end.
I agree. I like 2016 as well.
Yeah, so I mean, it's good. I mean, for $10, I definitely have a physical copy, and it runs great on PlayStation 4 as well, especially PlayStation 4 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, I don't know, I think I maybe paid $10 or less for this. It is Need for Speed Heat for PlayStation 4.
Another racing game.
Just like Tomb Raider, I'm trying to get all the Need for Speed games. And I've got pretty much all the older ones. I was just missing some of the PlayStation 4 ones. And the Need for Speed Reboot on PlayStation 4 requires an always online connection. So there's no point in getting that game physical, because if they shut the servers down, that disc is a coaster and is useless. But for the games they released after that, including Need for Speed Heat, they do not have that online only requirement.
Tying it back together to GameCube, I do remember literally watching you play Need for Speed Underground in my dad's basement on the GameCube back in the day.
Yes, my love for Need for Speed definitely started with Need for Speed Underground.
One of the best soundtracks in gaming, too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. So just keep things moving along.
Yeah.
The last thing I picked up is an official OEM PlayStation Vita charger. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up, because usually it'd be like, who cares, you got a charger. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because when I bought my PlayStation Vita, it came with just the USB cable. It did not have the wall brick to actually like plug it into the wall. So I got a third-party one off of like eBay or Amazon or something, just some cheap knockoff. And it worked for a while, but over time I realized the thing just got so hot. Now I know a lot of charger bricks get hot, like even cell phone ones. If you charge your phone for a couple hours and touch it, it'll be warm to the touch, but it should never be scalding hot.
No.
And that third party PlayStation Vita charger would be so hot you couldn't even touch it.
Oh no.
And I'm like, this is a fire hazard. So I was like, I need like an actual original PlayStation Vita charger, because I suspect Sony has higher quality assurance, and probably those ones are safer.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be simple. All right, just get on eBay and just search for an original PlayStation Vita charger. Much harder than it seems. One, because most of the listings are for third-party knockoffs. And second, the ones that do claim to be OEM PlayStation Vita chargers, I just want to mention on the screen right now, I'm showing the exact third-party one that I had that seems to be a fire hazard. So if you have a PlayStation Vita, do not get this one. But anyway, looking at a lot of the listings for quote-unquote original PlayStation Vita chargers, they're also knockoffs. And I mean, they're Sony branded. They got the Sony name, the PlayStation logo, but they're clearly fakes. And the reason I say that is because if you look at these sellers, they're selling like hundreds of them.
Oh.
Like, really, man? Somehow you just came up on a lot of 600 original PlayStation Vita chargers? I don't buy it. That's a knockoff. So it's very hard to tell, because they're using the same molding and they look legit. But I'll say what I realized is that the original ones have a slightly different back to them that has all the information and all the quality assurance and companies and stuff and regulations that they have to pass for all the different countries and stuff. So I'm showing it on the screen right now. If you look at this first image, which is the knockoff, you see the back of it, and it even says Sony. But if you look at an official one, you'll see that there's a lot more regulatory symbols on it. And you'll also see that it says, my head might be blocking it on the screen, but in the bottom right-hand corner, it says the month and year it was manufactured. Which is actually printed on it. So that's typically a sign of an official one. So yeah, you want to make sure it has all of the regulatory symbols, and that timestamp on when it was manufactured is also a good indicator that it's probably legit. And the legit ones were made in several countries, so you can't just go by that either. There's ones I think that were made in the Philippines, ones that were made in China, but both are official. They're just made in different locations. But yeah, I'm going back and forth between the original one and a legit one. And but another thing to look out for is it scratched up? Is it used? Does it look like somebody bought it with their Vita, used it for years, and then now is turning around and selling it? Does the seller only have one? If they're only selling one, then likely it could be legit. But if they're selling hundreds and hundreds of them, nah, man, they're manufacturing those. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead. What were you gonna say, Mitch?
I was just saying you've got to be careful, because I've actually run into something similar. You just bought one of those battery pack things from GameStop. I have an actual like dock of batteries, so there's like 4 batteries, and you just place them in the dock, and then you just swap them out whenever you're ready. But I actually had another one prior to it, and Amazon actually sent me a message saying, "Hey, the one that you bought is actually a fire hazard, so you should probably get rid of that one." Which, good on Amazon. I guess there might have been enough reviews talking about fire hazards and how it, probably got really, really hot to the point where Amazon sent out a mass thing to people that purchased them and said, "Hey, there's a legitimate case for fire hazards with this branded third-party charging kit. You should probably switch it out for something different."
Dang. Yeah, you got to be careful with batteries and battery chargers. If the quality's not there, they can definitely be fire hazards. I mean, that's really anything for any electronic, but...
Right.
Yeah, so I just wanted to put that public service announcement out there that if you got a PlayStation Vita, try to get an original charger. And I just feel safer using this one than the other one that got scalding hot.
Yeah, definitely.
But I didn't think it was going to be such a task to have to like sift through all these fakes to just get an OEM one.
It's good to know for me, because eventually I will get a Vita, and I will go down that same path of trying to, if it doesn't already come with one when I buy it, I will definitely be going down that same path.
Yeah, and the third party one, man, I probably paid like $10 for that. And this OEM one, it was like $35. But I'd rather pay a little bit extra money, having the peace of mind that I'm not going to burn my house down.
Yeah. I'd say a little bit more cost if you burn your house down compared to the $20 difference between chargers.
Yeah. All right, man. Yeah, we've covered a lot. This episode's already running pretty long. We got one more thing to go over. I think I'm gonna save my recently played until the next episode. So Mitch, what you been playing, man?
Yeah, been really looking forward to talking about this one. As the podcast knows at this point, I am the JRPG gamer. I don't take long before I pop another JRPG in the disk drive or boot it up on my console, and I have played and completed another one, which is a role-playing game developed by Bandai Namco Studios called Tales of Arise. And as I hinted earlier, I was playing a Tales of game. I just did get that Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, basically because of how much I loved Tales of Arise. It took me about 40 hours to beat, which is, a fairly average, time to beat a JRPG. I only took like 2 weeks to beat it. Once I got into it, I was gripped, and I had some time off from work, so I really got into it, and I didn't escape. I kept playing. And this is my first. So Tales of is a whole series. There are many of them. I'm not sure exactly how many.
A lot. I think they go back for years too.
Yeah, because obviously the one I got is on GameCube, so I think it goes back even further than that.
Yeah, that one right there is like 20 years old. So man, this long-running series.
Yeah, but this is actually shockingly my first Tales of game, and now I'm kicking myself for not playing more of these back in the day. But to talk about this one specifically, Tales of Arise takes place in a setting divided between the medieval world of Dana and the advanced world of Rena. And the story is really what captures me in JRPGs, and this one definitely got me. Without giving away too much, basically those who are Renans have powers, magical powers that they are blessed with, and Danans are more of the common folk. Aside from a few, they don't have any sort of
powers or magical anything. The Renans invaded and conquered Dana. So they have all these powers. They come in and conquered Dana, enslaving the population and dividing the land between 5 isolated realms that are each ruled by a lord. So these Renans came down, invaded Dana, enslaved the whole population, and then placed a Renan lord as basically the ruler of each of the realms. Which really captivated me right away. But it did, once I hit like the 30-hour mark, it did get a little. They did, as JRPGs do, they did drag it out a little bit. So I if they ended it at 30 hours, honestly, that probably would have been best. But still a great game. So what I loved about it, there's just amazing animated cutscenes, and there's a ton of inspiration behind anime in the game. So before I go into that, to go back to the story, your main character is nicknamed Iron Mask, and his ultimate goal is to free all the Danans from slavery by linking up with other revolutionists and taking out all of those lords in each of the realms. So it's pretty cool. You're the main character. You're going to go in and you're going to take out all of these lords. You're going to free the population from slavery, and that's really the base of the story right there. But back to the cutscenes. The cutscenes are just amazing animation. You could tell it was heavily inspired by anime. A lot of the English voice actors actually also voice characters in popular animes. The English voice actors. Like Attack on Titan, Seven Deadly Sins, My Hero Academia. I kept recognizing these voices. I was like, I need to look up who these voice actors are, and I looked, and they were actually like pretty popular characters from like Attack on Titan, for instance. It even mirrors, so like some of the cutscenes even like mirror anime. So like at different arcs in the story, if you boot up if you like close out the game, you're done playing the game for a time, then you boot it back up. It's actually a different entrance into the game. Like it's a different opening cutscene, like when you first are booting up the game. So like it's kind of like anime, when you hit a certain arc in an anime story, like it changes up the intro to the anime. They do the same thing in Tales of Arise, which I thought was kind of a cool touch. So that's basically the story, the animation, just all that drew me in. Great. That's usually can get me pretty hooked on a JRPG, but let's talk about the combat, which is also a lot of fun. As I said, there's a ton of Tales of games, but apparently they use a very similar combat system in a lot of their games, and they call it linear motion battle system, which is an interesting way to phrase a combat system. It reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy VII, though, in the combat there, where you're controlling one character, but you have 3 other characters in your party that are moving around the map with you and doing things, and you can basically command them to focus on healing or focus on like targeting one enemy, and while you are controlling the one character are engaging in basically free flow combats. Once you run into an enemy, it brings you into a combat battlefield. You and your other team members fight the enemies, and very, very similar to Final Fantasy VII if you've played that. So there's a heavy focus on evading, countering, or what they call breaking. It's basically causing the enemy to flinch for a short time. And once you break an enemy, essentially, they flinch for a short time, and you get to just wail on them and completely, they're not attacking for a little bit, and it gives you a good opening to do a lot of your powerful moves. As I said, there's 4 characters battling at a time. You're in control of one of them. Each have their own skill tree and strengths, but again, you only control one of them, but you can switch between characters. You don't have to control the main character of the story. If you want to play one of the other people for a bit, you can. There's a boost gauge for each character, which your boost gauge, basically, this I thought was super cool. Once you're attacking enough, you fill a boost gauge, and once you hit that, your character enters a little cutscene where they'll do some like cool move like on the enemy, and a lot of those boost moves will work. Each boost move for each character works well on certain enemies to make them break or flinch. So, for instance, like the main character, he like swings his fire axe, and he's good on a certain type of enemy and makes them break, and then everybody can start wailing on him. But they also build up another gauge where characters actually combined and do attacks together, which are like super cool cutscenes where two characters are like combining certain moves to like finish off an enemy at the end of that enemy's life. So a lot of just cool combat scenes. It's pretty crazy. A lot of different colors, a lot of different move sets, skill trees. Then obviously it's the typical JRPG with you leveling up your weapons, your armor, your accessories, which is kind of I've kind of gone to realize that that's my favorite part of JRPGs, is actually like hunting for like stronger weapons and stronger armor. That there's always, like in Tales of Arise, there's a lot of chests along the way that you find in certain nooks and crannies, and if you go down certain areas that aren't part of the main path, you'll find something great for your character. And I've come to realize it's kind of my favorite part of JRPGs. But yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. I went through that a little quick, but I think I covered a lot with that. I highly recommend the game. It is. The only reason I already owned it for a while, but only reason I popped it in, and I was looking for, I think I was just Googling like must play JRPGs in 2023, and yeah, unanimously people kept saying Tales of Arise. You need to play Tales of Arise, and yeah, it did not disappoint. I beat that insanely quick, and it's made me want to collect some of the other Tales of games, so I can see how those are in comparison to Tales of Arise.
Nice, man. So it does say, so right now on Steam, it's on sale half off for $20. It does say that there is a Beyond the Dawn expansion pack, which that's not on sale. It's full price right now for $30. So I'm assuming that's probably a pretty hefty expansion pack. So having just beat this, are you itching for more single player content? Would you jump into the expansion? Would you wait till it was on sale, or do you think that you've done enough of this game's story mode that you're not interested in the DLC?
So it's funny because like I was playing it. I started playing it and didn't realize an expansion was coming out. And then one time the game updated and I launched it again. And then hey, they're advertising an expansion for me. I was like, whoa! I guess I started playing this at a popular time. But as far as I got a lot. It was a long game, and they drew that last 10 hours of the story out. I thought it was done at the 30-hour mark. I thought it was over, but then they threw some typical JRPG-ness of just like making up something that just continued the story on for another 10 hours. It seemed like it could have ended at the 30-hour mark, and I would have been satisfied with the ending. But then they took a crazy turn that dragged out a little bit. I'm going to wait for sale on that one, I think. I also want to check out some reviews to see if it's like the story content is worth playing. If it's anything like the last 10 hours of that game and like how the story followed at that point, I may pass on it. Plus, there's just so many other JRPGs I want to get to, so it's almost like maybe I play a completely different story for a bit, and then maybe I'll go back to it at some point in time. But for the meantime, I think I got my fill, and like I said, 40 hours is a lot of time in a game, so I'm sure that expansion is not. It probably adds at least another 10 to 15 hours into the game. I'm gonna guess, just based on the price tag of $30.
Yeah. And I actually saved one pickup that I did not mention earlier. And Mitch, when you messaged me telling me that you just were playing this game and you just finished it, I had made that big GameStop purchase, and GameStop was selling Tales of Arise on PlayStation 4 brand new for $5.
Yeah, that is so much content for $5. Like, that's an absolute steal.
And I bought it on a whim. I looked at the reviews. I saw it got amazing reviews. I saw that it had just come out not too long ago. And I'm like, $5? All right, I'll take a chance on this. And then sure enough, I think it was the very next day, you were like, hey man, I've just been playing this Tales of Arise game. It's great. I'm like, all right, man, glad I scooped that up for $5 then.
Yeah, I think I paid a little more than that. I want to say I probably paid like 20 for it at the time, but I also bought it like at least a year or two ago. So
it always blows my mind when I get some like incredible game with high production values, great gameplay, just great everything for $5. It's just like, man, it's wild when games get that cheap and it's something really good.
Yeah, that's insane because there's so much content in that game and they put so much effort into all that. They have great voice acting, great cutscenes, great combat. You know, the story is great for, you know, up until a certain point. But yeah, that's $5. Yeah, if it's still $5 and anybody is interested in JRPGs, absolutely pick that up.
Yeah, and just looking at the videos and the screenshots, the art style looks incredible on this.
Yes.
So, man, they have some top tier artists that worked on this.
Yeah, Bandai Namco, they know what they're doing with a lot of the stuff that they work on.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that should wrap it up for this episode. Another long one, but man, we blew through a lot of stuff we wanted to talk about. A lot of great pickups. Got more stuff to cover in the next episode. There's some games that I've been playing recently that I want to talk about, but just don't have time on this episode, so I'll save it for the next one. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You can find all our episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Mitch, where else can we be found on the internet?
Yep, you can find us at our Twitter at Hills Are Silent. Instagram is Instagram.com/Hills Are Silent. Our TikTok is at the Hills Are Silent Podcast. Our YouTube is at the Hills Are Silent. If you have any questions, comments, hit us up at our email inbox, hillsaresilent@gmail.com, or comment on Spotify episodes or YouTube episodes. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments. As always, we will catch you on the next episode.